Good evening tonight. No video from Guy and friends. What? Did the video not play? What was going on? Were we glitching? What was going on? Because you're doing like kind of like the discussion. Did it just run the camera? What was it doing? Because now I'm curious, because Restream seems to have gotten super buggy all of a sudden. I mean, after this, just the background, so the video didn't play. Hey, let me try again. Hang on. Well, can you see? You can see it though now, right? Yeah. Let's see if playing it again here. I'll try it again. Right? Did that work? I just ran it for a second. Oh, okay. Huh. Must have been something with the timing of hitting the start button and rolling the video, and I don't know. It was playing over here. We were playing it. That's weird. I don't know, man. I just work here. That's weird. But you can I see you posting on Facebook though, so at least Facebook's rolling it. And I think we're actually, well, it says we're sending data to QuaCk, but not responding. It says we're streaming out to, well, let's take a look at where we are. I'm going to, because I haven't gotten Quasar Art Collective to run properly. So let's go on ahead and take a look at that. I'm just gonna find it. I'm gonna look over here and see whether QuaCk is broadcasting. Yeah, see, we're not broadcasting to QuaCk. We haven't had anything actually out on QuaCk. So I'm going to remove this destination, remove the permissions, and then we're going to go to that, and then we're going to see if we can't add a destination, and it's a group, and then we'll connect Facebook. Right, and then we'll add this group. It's thinking, it's been added. Okay, so I think we had the wrong QuaCk going on. I'm going to turn it on and see what happens when we send the data in. Let's see if that actually pops up on that public group. I'm looking over here. See what happens. It probably isn't going to like it for tonight, but I think I was going to the wrong group. Let's see what QuaCk seems to think on this side. Brent is joining me, but I'm fussing with destinations, so you're going to have to wait a second, Brent. Now I can join you.
There you are. So what I was trying to say is, like, it was the background, just no you.
Yeah. I got that. Okay. I was just sitting there going, well, that's weird. That's a weird glitch. It's a glitchy glitch. So.
Oh, dear. Good night, my dear. I sleep now.
You sleep now.
Hi, our partner.
In torment.
Hi,
And Torment.
cat partner.
And
Hmm.
at some point, George comes in here and he jumps up here and he's happy as a clam. But
I'm gonna go give Dub a bed.
sounds like a plan that involves giving Dove a bed.
I'm gonna make sure that the kiddo has successfully.
Right? That's not so important. Yeah, I don't think that there is. Okay. I'm sharing with this app. I am. Well, okay, that's a thing. So we've done things, I guess. I don't know. Maybe it's working. Maybe it's not. I don't know. Don't judge me. So there you go. See, now it's you and me, so doing this doesn't work as well.
Yeah.
This isn't as good an idea now because you can't read it. So I would use the normal one, which is this guy. Because you were like, I don't know if I like that as much. Well, and I agree. I mean, I don't like it as much, but I do like whenever it's when I'm just by myself though, and nobody else is here. It's actually kind of cool. Because actually, you can still read it. It's not like it's unreadable.
No. But if you have that chat there, I go. Try not to make it endless loop.
There you go. Endless chat. Things. Yeah, no, it's cool. Then I added the mosaic, which also has the chat like that. And with the mosaic, we could put the slideshow back in there and just make it smaller. Right, so we put the chat. Right. Then you can still have the slideshow. That's not there. And the chat is still on this red, like so. That still's not bad. Still gives you something to see. You know, there's still something going on in the screen here. And the chat's still rolling. So if I ever have to censor out, at least I can still run the chat and things like that while I'm working.
Yeah.
Which is cool. So I'm going to save this one.
As long as you can see what you're showing too. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, like, that's the whole thing, right? Because if I've got to use the mosaic, it's because I'm drawing naked people over here. So, you know, we can't do that without getting punished. So I'm bitter about this. However, I'm not working on naked people today. Naked pickles. No naked pickles. All right. But we've got all of our color palettes here. Oh, I had just... Oh, yeah, so you're figuring out all the buttons over there about being right back.
Yeah, sort of.
I still have one unpunched sheet of Star Frontier's Nighthawks counters. I was like super impressed to get this. Star Frontiers was the first game I ever really played, first role-playing game.
Mm-hmm.
And so
You got that at Mile High Con.
no, actually, I got it at Black and Red. So it's no. I pulled all of this out because tonight on Geek Tank we were like, yeah, Fortress America, and I was like, I have Fortress America, and I went over and got my Fortress America, and it's not Fortress America. It's full of every like counter from every game I've ever had, and I was like, oh, well, that's where these all went. But also, there's this this little box right here. I've been looking for it for a long time. This little box here is all it is just small mementos from throughout my life that are little. Like the first time I went to a convention and got an actual patch from Star Trek. Like I had never even seen one before, and this is the first one. And it's so weird because it's an engineering patch, and I didn't know the difference. That's how long ago it was. Like so long ago, I didn't know that it was an engineering patch. But like little things, like I had this guy on my pencil in 3rd grade. He's a pencil topper. We put him on a pencil, and he was in 3rd grade, and he kept me company in 3rd grade. And I mean, it's like I keep him, because. Yeah, and like I had in junior high and elementary school, I had an affinity for little rubber eraser animals. So here's my little. He was also in 3rd grade, and this guy was 4th grade. But you know what I mean? Like I keep those guys because they're little. But I also have some things like I've got a Corgi Starfighter, which is from Buck Rogers. In here, and then. When I was in high school, I was really into Harlock, and a buddy of mine was really, and it's hard to see this, a buddy of mine was really into metal making. He made me this Harlock pen, and it's so cool, and I still love it, and he just made it for me, and I think I paid him $10 for it. But at high school, so, we all thought that was cool.
Back in the day, yeah.
Back in the day. And I mean, some stuff in here is rather cool. This is AR from Springs. Mm-hmm. This is a round to it. So it says it's AR's round to it. Come to springscomic.com. And now you have gotten a round to it. So, and then when I was really, really, really little, like, I don't want to say really, really little, but like 6 or 7 years old, Mom and Dad got me this racing set, which, had these plastic tracks, and you put the little cars.
Hot Wheels style.
It wasn't Hot Wheels. They were like
the
rollers.
Yeah, I know which one you're talking about.
And this one was Snoopy, but Snoopy's long since disappeared. But his car, or I guess this was Charlie Brown, his car is still with me. And I keep that as a memento of that. And so this is from elementary school. This is my elementary school pack. And I lost it for a very long time. I don't know where it went. Well, I know exactly where it went. It went into that box for reasons. But I'm glad I found it, because now it goes into that memento box, which has more valuable things of mine from the rest of my life. Not just my elementary school memories. So that was a nice find, because I had been looking for it. I knew I had it up here in the office at one point. I knew I had this guy in the office at some point. And I was like, I don't know what happened to him. I was like, he was in the office. So, yeah. Then I I got this. This is where I keep all of the later in life things. My cliff jumper, my bumblebees. I have more than one. And then my super small sized stuff. Like this is when I started getting into really small things. Here's a Megatron, and he transforms. But like that's his size, right?
Mm-hmm.
On the same scale as my Optimus, and he also transforms. But of course, in here is also an actual Optimus. My actual Optimus from when I was a kid. So
I think I had that exact same Optimus.
yeah. So there's Optimus Prime as he was in the one I got in Japan, which was super small. The ones in Japan were cool because they had Starscream, and they just made the 4 of them. They made Starscream. Here's Bumblebee. Bumblebee is extremely tiny, and yeah. Then I really loved the cassettes. They were my favorite. So.
Oh, the ones that were like the tape deck ones?
Yeah, the tape deck cassettes.
Yeah.
There were.
Mine was the.
Of
I
them.
had. For the longest time, I had.
Collection of cassettes.
I had those too growing up.
Yeah.
And my favorite was actually, or the one I remember the most was the pterodactyl. I think it was. Or it was a bird of sort.
Because I think my favorite was Rat Bat, this guy right here. And I think because I loved his wingspan. Yeah, because Rat Bat was kick butt. Because that wingspan, that was just so cool. He had some super wings. But now these guys, these classic original Gen 1s, are very rare and hard to find.
Yeah.
Not impossible, just expensive. So I try to take some care of them, But in here are in this particular guy, are all my Transformers. So keep these guys all together. Including the first one that I ever got was Ravage. And then I got the newest ones. These are the ones that they sell now when you get a set. And, so here's Laserbeak. And I actually kind of dig him. And he still transforms roughly the same. But now I love the fact that his pack is on his back now by default. I thought that was pretty kick butt. I'm like, sweet. Yeah, I've always loved Laserbeak. And Ravage is insane to try to transform. The new version of Ravage, he is really hard to transform. Like lots of maneuvering pieces. But he looks kick ass when he's all fully transformed. It's just that, boy, it's a pain to get him there. So I'm going to keep all of these guys in here with my... I just love the fact that I have a Megatron. This is my only existing Megatron. I didn't want Megatron as a kid because I didn't like guns as a kid because they're loud. I just had this whole discussion about this. They're loud. I don't like loud noises. And so I never liked guns, and therefore never really had a desire to get Megatron. You know what I mean? My one Astro Train, and he is in... he's not in good shape. So I have a handful of GoBots in here. They do this nicely. They all fit really well. But what I love is I have always been a fan of Bumblebee. He is my favorite, and of course you can You know what? I don't know why I've got this set not to the monitor, but as we're sitting here chatting, I should just. But I love Bumblebee, and so every time I find a Bumblebee, I'll pick him up because I just love Bumblebee. This is
VW
my
bus.
original Bumblebee that I had as a kid, and he is really fragile and hard to. But then I bought these two guys because they were keychains. You can see the little keychain things,
Mhm.
but they're fully transformable, and they cost like $10. So I picked up, two of them because that's all they had. And I picked up a cliff jumper while I was at it too. So, but Bumblebee is my favorite character, and I loved the Bumblebee movie. That was a great movie.
Yeah,
It was cute.
it was a good movie. I think they could have done it a little bit different, but
Well, probably.
it's supposed to be a prequel, so.
I mean, Peter Cullen still said things that made me happy. I don't care. Peter Cullen could literally read the phone book, and I'd be fine. I'd be so fine if he could just read the phone book, and I'd be like, yeah, Bob Smith, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I'd be like, I'm just gonna listen to this over and over and over.
Kind of like, shoot, who was that? Not Denzel, but Morgan Freeman reading the phone book.
Morgan Freeman could do the same thing. Just read anything. Morgan Freeman is the man. Yep. So in here are things that are like this book. I got it in 4th grade at the Reading is Fundamental.
Mm-hmm.
Reading is fundamental. And it talks about all these horrible disasters. And that's where I learned the word decapitation.
Let's see, you had the Hindenburg on there.
Yeah, that wasn't a decapitation.
No.
So I have weird stuff in here that I love. This is like some fun things. This is not my phone in Japan, but this was the model of phone I had. Mm-hmm. At the end of our time in Japan, we happened to be at a Vodafone store, and they were about to throw out all of the old models. These are just plastic mimics of the old models. Yeah. And I was like, well, if you're going to throw that out, this is the same model of my phone. I'm about to go home. I'm about to go back to America, and I'd love to have, a memento of it. And they're like, sure, take it, dude. So I took it home. It's not a real phone at all. It's just a plastic case mimic of it. But this is except mine was white. But the only difference was that mine was white. And now it's kind of cool to have it because you can kind of see what we were dealing with in Japan at the time. Mm-hmm. Which now looks like, wow, Japan was way behind the times. And I was like, nah, they weren't. They were totally ahead of the times. It's just
yeah. I remember when I was there
in 2006. So
yeah, I was there in 2003, and they already had color cameras built into phones.
Yeah. Yep.
So
yeah, this is my original copy of The Cage in VHS. It says episode 1. So I've got some wild stuff in here. This is kind of cool. This is a portable TV. And it's from 1985. I want to say maybe 86. It doesn't say it on here. My grandfather gave it to me, and my grandfather passed away in 89. So this had to have been prior to 89, obviously. But the reason I keep it is my grandfather bought it for me. And it was the coolest thing I had ever seen. And it was so neat. And it's kind of funny the way it works. You have the LCD screen is up here in reverse. And then you put light through the LCD screen like this. And then look at the mirror reflection on this mirror on the bottom and watch the TV.
try to save battery power for not having a backlight.
Yeah. 80, 84, 85, you know. I keep that because it reminds me of my grandpa, obviously.
Sad thing is you can't use it nowadays.
Yeah, it won't pick up anything. There's no signal.
Yeah.
And there's no external input at all. Speaking of, also in here is my grandfather's wallet with all of his stuff still in here.
Sorry, I'm being invaded by the cat.
Yep, I have my nameplate from when I worked at Time Warner in here. This is my Hanko, which you see me sign my artwork with. This is what it actually looks like. Right here. And it sits inside this very lovely container.
Nice.
Which comes with its own little ink pad right there, which is very cute. I mean, this is so Japanese.
Yeah.
But this is my Hanko. And I keep things like this. This is my Blockbuster card because that is a historical thing. And it still says the Blockbuster it was issued to is the one at 70 or at 80th and Wadsworth, which of course is long since gone.
There's only like one left.
While we're at it, my Toyosaurus card.
Oh shit!
Because I love my Toyosaurus card. Then my work booklet for Little Shop, which was one of my favorite. That's probably my most profoundly good experience in high school was working in that. My original Kyudo sensei gave me this. This was I'm glad I'm putting this all on film because someday I'm going to be like, the hell is all this stuff? And I'm going to be able to go, okay, good. Luckily, it's all on video somewhere. But it's a back scratcher.
Yeah.
It works really well, and he gave it to me, and that was cool. Here's some interesting rarities. These are, both of these are dinky metal Klingon ships. This one is really hard to find nowadays. This guy here. And it is a story, because this came out with a motion picture. And so it's 1979's the copyright on the back of it. This is my Walkman from when I was a kid. And this chip right here is because this Walkman was in the back of the car when we were rear-ended by a drunk driver, and it was in the trunk, and we were in a VW Rabbit, and the Rabbit's trunk just collapsed down to about this big, and we were able to still yank this out from like 2 pieces of metal, and it still worked, but it took a chip out of it, and I was like, yeah, that's how you can tell your Walkman's serious. You know, I don't know if I would trust it to play anything anymore. Probably just to eat a tape. But when I first got this Walkman in 1983 or 84, I had never actually worn headphones before because I didn't. So I turned it. Mom got it for me, and then we went out to eat, and we went to a Denny's type restaurant called Coco's.
Yeah.
And I was sitting there, and I was turning it on, and I turned it on, and Mr. Mister's Broken Wings came on the radio. And it was so clear. I was like, I had never heard anything like that before, because it's not like 1980s car radios sucked. So it's like nothing that you ever were in a car, you couldn't. I'd never, and I was sitting there going, "Can you hear this?" And Mom was like, "No, but we can hear you." And I still remember that to this day. Me listening to it, and I was talking so loud because it was so clear, it was so loud in my ears, and I was like, "I don't know what to do." It was very cute. So there's the story. Involves that.
Yeah, see, a lot of that stuff of mine is at my parents' place. They're holding on to it because moving so many times throughout the years.
Here are my legal documents from Japan.
Hmm.
So this is my driver's license right here. This is my gaijin card, which meant that I was legal and allowed to be in Japan. And this was my bank card, which I kept because I thought it was cool. So I keep like these little batches of cards together because they're kind of fun.
Mm-hmm.
Just cute cards. Can't use them. My dad's business cards from when he was at Marriott. For those that this is the Marriott at I-25 in Hamden, which no longer exists. But those of you who,
I was going to say, yeah, it's not there anymore.
yeah, they demolished it. They wiped it out. So my original Game Science 100 cider. I mean, like this, I got this in a mail order catalog. And I want to say 91, probably. I was still living at home when I bought this. Yeah.
Nope.
Then got some miscellaneum here in this bag. But I love things like this is the game cartridge for the TI 99-4A home computer, not you, that you got when you were, that my dad had. And my favorite game was QuACk. And I still actually have a TI 99-4A, but I don't have the TI 99-4A anymore. I'm keeping it because someday it'll probably not be worth anything, just like it's not worth anything right now. But I keep thinking in my head that it will be.
One day.
Either way, I keep the game cartridge because this is the game cartridge from, and I think Dad got it. I want to say Dad got it in '82 because he left here in '83, and he got the PC then at that point, and then took it back to Texas, and that was one of my memories of going back to Texas for the first times. Now, my grandparents both lived in Texas in the same city, so both sets of grandparents. So when going back to see Dad, I'd see all of my grandparents at the same time. So it wasn't like it was a horrible, trial or anything, but it also was a lot of fun. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you're going back to see your grandparents, you're going back to see your dad. We're going to go do stuff and watch movies, and we're going to go to water parks and, all that stuff because it was summer vacation. And one of the things that happened over summer vacation is we'd play that TI, and I'd play the hell out of QuACk. And that was one of my favorite games. And I was so into it. And so that was cool. And then this is the infamous rat tail. I had a long tail that went through, I had long hair in the 80s.
Yeah,
I had long
it was
hair.
the 80s. Yeah.
It was the 80s, so I had actually a mullet. I really did. And then at one point in time, I decided, well, I gotta, try to get a job. So I cut all but the tail, and I had a rat tail. And then I got a job at a television studio, and they took bets on how long it would take before that rat tail got caught up in the 1-inch reel-to-reel, which because that was what I was working, right? I mean, like that was the 90s, and that was what television studios were like. Everything was on 1-inch tape. And so those 1-inch reel-to-reels, you'd put one tape on, you'd feed it through the heads, scroll it up on the other side, lock them down, then hit play, and then it would just and it would take off. And they were waiting for that rat tail to get caught up into it and then thrown up onto a reel, and then, because they knew that those motors were serious. They were not playing around. And it never happened. But, so that was a thing. This is my grandfather's Lincoln. If your car breaks down, you spent so much money on your Lincoln that we will come get you. We promise, Mr. Stevens.
Pre-AAA.
You're right. Pre-AAA. We will rescue your butt. We promise you. This was my mom's card holder for her business cards. Business cards fit.
Yeah.
Here's the Lincoln. They fit like this, and then you can grab the business cards. You can grab a business card, but it's made of glass, and it's a film reel because Mom was in movies. She was working in the movies at the time. And this is my puzzle box, which inside it is a bunch of rather rare Japanese currency, including a 2000 mon note. The 2000 mon note is almost straight up like our $2 bills.
Yeah.
They're extraordinarily rare, very difficult to find. And so I managed to get like 4 of them over the time that I was there. Knowing that they were rare, I saved them. So that's my little trip down memory lane. The only other thing that's in here is I have one of Kai's diapers, but it's not used, obviously. But he was so tiny when he was born.
They are.
That I was like, I had to keep one of these just because I'm like, you would not believe how tiny he was. Like, he was so little. And I was like, and he was normal. He was a normal, he wasn't premature. He was actually straight up on time. And you know what I mean? And he was normal sized and normal weight, and he was still like this big. And I will never wrap my brain around that. So I kept that because I'm like, you need to remember he was little.
Yeah.
So little. Babies are so tiny.
Now, when my daughter was born, she was about a week late than what they guessed.
Yeah.
So,
but still on time. And she was also probably just absolutely teeny. And you're like, how can you be so tiny?
She was covered in what they call cheddar. She had this weird covering all over her.
Mm-hmm.
So, or a cheesecloth, or whatever they call it.
I got this at the Berlin Wall,
and
it's full of my European coins that I wanted to keep. And I have like the weirdest things. I have $1 Canadian in here, and then these are all euros that I kept from when I was over there. So, which is fun. This is my You've Traveled the World thing, and it fits in one very small bin because I promised myself that I would not be ridiculous, about keeping, because I'll keep everything. But all of these things, especially the weird little electronics, like that TV, that TV is still one of my such a bizarre little thing to keep. I still have it. It's so cool. So anyway, the long and the short of it is I'm really glad that I found this guy because he belongs in here in this box. He was in that box. This also, by the way, my mom got these from Central City, and they are bar door handles. They're made of brass.
Oh, yeah.
But this one came from a whorehouse. And my mom thought that was the funniest thing ever. And so she had, every time we moved, she'd install these in places in our house all the time. She thought it was so funny. But I kept them because it reminds me of my mom, and my mom was such a weirdo. I mean, in a good way. She was a good weirdo, but she was a weirdo. So, you have gone
parents are
lane with me. Aren't you proud? And then I can probably put my transformers in here on top right over here. Or maybe I'll put it on this side. Because they can probably slip a little lower if they're on this side. Yeah, they sit a little lower on that side. And I keep the transformers in here. And we're going to totally get nailed for that. You know that, right?
It shouldn't. It was less than 30 seconds.
You'd think. What was it? Somebody, we did an entire show once in Geek Tank where we just reviewed things like, here's the next show coming out here, here's the next show. And that show is routinely pulled by copyright every stinking time. And all of it is just exactly what you're talking about. It's just 30 seconds worth. But man, that one trips the copyrights every single time. So annoying. All right. So now we've saved that. Lid back on it. Now we can put it away. There we go. So that's it. That's my life's memories right here.
Box of memories.
Box of memories. The box of memories. And here. Oh. And here is my passport, which I had with me when I was in Germany. This is the passport holder. And it has like my visit to the Louvre, you know, and things like that, like the world's biggest cuckoo clock. I don't know.
See, when I was in Europe last, I wasn't there long enough to really do sightseeing.
Yep.
One of those places I want to go back to visit.
I even kept things like, here's our parking pass. And this is a bus pass. And this is the place that we were on the Seine, which had really good coffee. So, yeah. Because my sister was like, okay, we're in Paris. What do you want to do? And I'm like, I wish to eat French bread. And she's like, what? We're in Paris. That's what you want? I'm like, yeah, dude. When we're in Germany, I want to drink beer. When you're in Paris, I want to eat French bread. It's like, okay. That's what you want. There you go. I'm just going to scan these because I might as well go ahead. If I scan them, I can't accidentally lose them. And all I really keep these for is for the memory of that trip, which was a great trip. And hanging out with my sister the entire time. You know, the best part about hanging out with your siblings is there's no expectations. They know exactly who you are. You know what I mean? It's like, so when I was like, I want French bread, I wanted to ride every single train we can find. And she's like, that's you. I was like, we have to ride the TGV. She's like, okay, we'll go to Paris and we'll take the TGV. And I was like, sweet. So we took the TGV. Made my entire week. I was like, yeah, TGV. It's the fastest freaking train in like all of Europe. We were in Frankfurt and then we were in Paris. I was like, yeah. And on the way there, I got to ride in a 777, and on the way back, I got to ride in an Airbus A380. So I was on the double-decker Airbus. And that made me happy. I saw that when we landed in Frankfurt. And as we were pulling up to the gate, I was in a 777. And I was like, this is the first time in a 777 for me. So I was like, yeah. But then I was like pulling up, and over there were all of these Lufthansa Airbus A380s. And I'm like, So I was like talking to my sister. I'm like, look, dude, we got to go back on an A380. And she's like, oh, okay, but I don't know what we're on. And I'm like, let me see the tickets. And I was like, crap, we're on a 777. Let's change to the like one day over and we can be on an Airbus A380. So we swapped over for an Airbus A380. Because that's, again, like I said, the best part about being with your siblings is at least she was like, yeah, that makes total sense. You know, I don't understand it, but it doesn't make any difference to me as long as I can watch my movies. I'm like, okay, whatever. Like, but I got to ride on the triple decker plane. I've got to do that. The best part is they have a camera on the A380 mounted at the very tip of the tail that looks down over the aircraft. So as you're landing, you can watch the ground coming up and watch the airplane coming up over the runway and touching down. And I was like, it's so cool. That's what I had. She was watching movies the entire time. I was on that channel the entire flight. It was just like, I'm going to watch the plane.
See, I've been able to fly in almost every Boeing model out there, but the 777 Max or whatever that new one is, that had crashing issues.
That's 737s though.
Yeah, sorry, 737.
The Maxes are 737s. That's all right.
And then
I'm the geek in this particular instance. I'm not going to complain when people don't know it.
C5, the C17, C130s,
bunch of C17s, Globemasters. Those are serious. I like those.
C5 is a lot worse.
C5 Galaxy is huge. That's a big plane.
You sit up by in the tail, and you face to the back. And then as soon as we were like at cruising altitude, they were like, "Okay, y'all can move around." And half of us snuck down to because we parked our trucks inside of it.
Yeah. It's a C5 Galaxy. You park inside it. Yeah.
We were taking our trucks to another country for a live fire exercise, so we parked our trucks inside. So half of us went downstairs and just climbed onto the hoods of our trucks and slept on top of the truck.
Makes sense.
The loadmaster came by like an hour before we landed. He's like, "Hey, wow, you're the only ones ever to do that. You gotta get back upstairs, get to your seat because we're landing soon."
Right? Stop doing that. It's cute, good job, but stop doing that.
See, the C-17 I took from Southern California to Iraq via. We took it to Kuwait, but we had a stopover in Maine, and then Shannon, Ireland, then Frankfurt, Germany, and then into Kuwait City.
Makes sense. Were you part of Desert Storm?
No, that was in the 90s.
I don't know.
Desert Storm and Desert Shield was 1990 to 1991.
Yeah, so I was like, I don't know. Some people were really, really stupid young. I would have been part of Desert Storm.
Yeah.
If I had been in the military.
Let's see.
But I would have joined the Navy, so I would have just been hanging out off the coast out there on. Knowing me, it would have been some kind of refueling tender. That's how my luck works. I'd have been some kind of bizarre refueling tender. Well, this sucks.
Yeah. I was on Operation Iraqi Freedom 2, which was...
1 wasn't enough.
No. Let's see. We went across the berm from Kuwait to Iraq March 3rd, 2004. And then I returned from Iraq on my first tour September 9th, 2004. We landed in March Air Force Base September 11th, 2004.
Right.
No, it wasn't March. It was Miramar. Yeah. This was the Naval Air Station Miramar. Is where we landed.
Yeah, good. Hanging out at Miramar. With the probably at that time still F-14s. Although, no, they probably had already gone up to
18s
at that point. Yeah, I can't imagine trying to. I mean, don't get me wrong. I adore the tomcat to the end of the earth,
Mm-hmm.
but I can't imagine trying to do dog fighting with a tomcat any more than you absolutely had to. Good plane, solid plane, great in a straight line. Like pretty much the way it works. I mean, it's not like it was bad. You
No,
certainly could do a lot of good things with it, but it
it wasn't
has
designed for dogfighting. It was
it
designed
wasn't designed for
for
dog fighting.
air-to-air combat, but shoot your missiles from range.
It was designed to carry that Phoenix.
Yeah.
Was what it was designed to do. That Phoenix missile was the AMRAAM is just amazingly stupid, dumb, big, stupid,
Mm-hmm.
and that was what it was designed for. And that makes total sense.
See, my favorite aircraft is actually the A-10 Thunderbolt.
Fairchild. Yes. Warthog. It's got a lot of names.
Thunderbolt.
It also has depleted uranium rounds that it fires out of a Gatling gun that makes it that actually will make it stall.
What's funny is I've seen a lot of TV shows and like documentaries on it, and the one thing they always mention is they built the gun before they built the airplane.
Yes, they did.
So, yeah.
Tickets and cards. All right. I have saved this to the folder that is representative of that thing, of that trip to Germany. This is probably, I probably need stuff.
Well, it's almost midnight for me, so I'm going to probably head out, guy.
It was good having you here to traipse down memory lane with me.
Oh, yeah.
I appreciate you being here. I'll see you in the AM.
You will. I'll be
Yeah.
here. I should be here tomorrow.
Yeah. So I got lunch with my high school teacher tomorrow. So I may have to bug out early, depending. He's 80, so we've got to, we do what we can. So, but he was my beloved high school teacher, and I'm realizing how short my time is with people. So I'm gonna go have lunch with him and his wife and catch up, because it's been probably 15 or 20 years. So catch up stuff. So that'll be cool. So
All right.
just so you know,
No
and I will
worries.
see you tomorrow. By the way, just so we all remember, tomorrow is Raf's birthday. Just because he's old, and that's important.
So we gotta give him an extra hard time tomorrow for not being
Yeah,
on
if
the
he
show.
shows up, but he never does. But if he does show up, we have to make sure we give him a hard time because it's his birthday.
Yeah.
Unless he shows up in his birthday suit, at which time we will get banned from everything.
Then you get banned.
And we get banned. Good night, Brent. Have a good evening.
Night. Take care.
All right. It's back to us. And I'm going to pack stuff up and go back to work for a minute or two, because really, honestly, legitimately, that was a fun excursion down the ravine, but also very instead of this guy who is not actual access allies, I guess. So, look in here. I think parts of this game have gotten. Ooh, we're in bad shape down here, guys. Axis and Allies is a game which was invented back in the days before people thought it was cool to get involved in games that were this complicated. But this game is super complicated. It has a lot of moving pieces, parts, and probably ought to have these parts in it, which come from here. I will place these in here. Give me more room here to do other things. All these are actually like movement charts, things like that for the game. Putting them in Axis and Allies will help me here quite a bit. So, look at the boards. Right, this is an actual Axis and Allies board. So I'll put that guy in here. One of these is Fortress America. So that's my original, which has traveled with me. This is Fortress America board. I can still play Fortress America. I went on ahead and I'm taking all of these and putting them over here, with the exception of the plastic pieces. That allows me to have everything over there that actually belongs to this game, right? So this will allow me to be able to play Axis and Allies or Fortress America. My copy of Fortress America has traveled with me over the years. But I'm going to put this guy back on the shelf over here. You just maneuver it in. And that works. And this guy holds a lot of different stuff, which I think these guys can probably safely be put in a different bag. This is an interesting game called Mayday, which I bought for $4 once. Things that live in here. Put all this back. Somewhere along the line, I gathered up a few of these things. I'll need to remember that legitimately I need to reorganize these things at some point. Just putting everything in their plastic bags and putting all the plastic bags back. Not just the plastic bags, but the various other miscellaneous that belongs in this sort of thing. And that solves that. And this guy is back to where he was. I'm just putting things away up there. Because this guy wants back there. There's absolutely nothing of value in here except to me. So this guy needs to just right here. We should sort these guys. Flares. These guys should be over here. That was a lot of work, guys, for not a lot of stuff. Things went away. Works. All right. Let's swap over to here. Let's take a look at what we were talking about here. Right, we got kind of going down this line. Okay. We've done I think I want to move spacecraft to the next section. So we're going to do that. We're going to need another page for the MPV. We should probably just roll out over on the MPV side. And let's just get some nice, good, solid shots of the MPV. And that'll work. Oof. I know darn well that if I don't put all those things back, I'm going to regret it. Now we're building a new MPV at the moment, but now it should render fine. There we go. Before, when we rendered the MPV, it had the old library from when we were doing the short video of it. So I feel like this is probably pretty solid, just where it is, right? Let's go ahead and set our render settings for big enough that it, is something. So let's go for 2K. And that way we don't have to worry too much about it. It gives me a little bit more detail. That's fine. So we're going to actually go out to I've forgotten where I parked things. I think in here with character design. That's where I parked it. MPV 01. And then we will do the top view. So here is a trick that you can all use, which is this button right here selects the whole monster. There we go. Right, and we'll do super slow. Yes, I did. It was very cool. Thank you very much. I always love stuff like that. This is some of the best stuff. It's good to see you, Donald. That's back. Which means you know what that means. That means the butt view is where the front is. For reasons. It's all good. You were still there for some of it. You missed the random person who joined us from Twitch and said, "Hey, do you guys read the comments?" And then, wait, I want to guess all you people. It's like, okay, that's so weird, but fun. And that was a fun thing, and it allowed Troy and I to do our normal thing where we were just weird. Brian was on here the other night, and he was like, "Oop, not that." He was like, "It transforms," and I was like, "Yeah, it transforms. It's me. Of course it transforms. Why wouldn't it transform, right?" I'm going to make a page full of MPV stuff. So we've got MPV stuff on here. So one of the reasons we're rebuilding this guy is because I could make a pose set if I had him rebuilt. But because we don't have him he's not building transformation sequences. This sucks. I keep losing all my papers for my report because the building keeps transforming on me. Jerk. There we go. Well, the big ship Macross certainly does. I think all the buildings get crushed. It's actually kind of funny. The doors open. The building's like walls come up. Pivot it forward, because it's making his way through things at this point. Right. It's like, dude, you're not sitting here. You're not sitting here. I'm over that spilling coffee on me. That was not cool. It'd be funny. There we go. I'm gonna kind of get the back a little bit there. We're gonna, with this rebuild, it's gonna be a better critter. It's all right. Alrighty. Right. Just work with me. Could you just work with me for a minute? Yeah, I know we had a problem, but just work with me, okay? Just please. It'd be so funny. Be like trying to just. What's wrong? I'm trying to get the captain's chair to work with me. It's not happy. Oh, what did you do to it? I know. I spilled coffee. Man, it really does look like a spider in this mode, though. We have to do something about this. A little large here. But that's okay. We'll get in there. Figure it out once it's in there. Get this guy in here. Right. We can't pull rank. Why? The chair doesn't acknowledge it. I'd say pull rank, but you know that the chair will not acknowledge your rank. Dang it. Stupid chair. You're not helping. Go. Maybe we should put that there. Kind of like the tails crossing over one another thing. I like that. That's funny. I do think this should be here, and he should just be out here like this. It's kind of an awkward thing, but we can make it work. Because maybe he needs to be a little bit bigger, and that's part of the problem. Because these three guys all belong in the same critter sort of world. Like so. There we go, something like that. And then we can put a little like stat block here and talks about it. And then this guy can be smaller because he's sort of illustrating it in non-flight mode or in flight mode. Oh man, getting those two in the same room, much more difficult. Maybe we're going the wrong way with this. But it doesn't fit. I usually say I must have something going wrong. Yeah, see, that fits a whole hell of a lot better. Yeah, I don't know where he went. He's somewhere. I heard him earlier, but I've really seen him since. I feel like this wasn't. Yeah, I feel like this was a different. It's not quite black, which I like a lot better. Nope. We don't let him outside ever to begin with, but we absolutely do not let him outside during Halloween. We don't even take the risk of him going outside during Halloween. For that very reason. He's not, I don't think, he's intrigued by outside, but I don't feel like he's so intrigued that he feels the need to go out. So, but yeah. But thank you, because you are right. It's that time of year again. In fact, when we adopted George, that was one of their things, was that they were glad that he was going to a family that already had another cat and was actually like, because they said people adopt black cats for bad reasons. And so, and especially George, who's polydactyl. I guess people find that to be superstitious or something. Something's horrible about polydactyl cats. I don't know what it is, but there's something. So, whatever's the story, George isn't going anywhere. He's not leaving. He's not going outside. He's not doing nothing. It's not the right time for him to be tootling around outside. Right, time to bring up the random name generator. There's some great. So let's come up with like corporation names, maybe business names. Right, bug species names, no. Computer virus names, no. Probably not. Cult names, that's a good one. Oh my goodness. Real names seem like a thing that I might be able to get, but it must be other gens. Like, now these look like on this site here. Character concept ideas. Concept ideas, stories. Prayer generator. Religious commandments. Riddle generator. That's interesting. Sidetrack Incorporated, huh? I like that. That's good. Maybe software. Ego. Bindle plus plus. Maybe something military. Military division names. Military rank names. Military rank names. Now I'm just curious. Officer of Fear. That's not a rank, people. Chief of the Court. Spec Ops Captain. Whatever. I guess it's not necessarily our military. Let's see here. Evil organizations. Drag queen names. That's new. I like that one. Curse names. Currency names. Cult names. We were there. Clown names. Could be, card game names. Call signs. Oh, these are actually kind of cool. Vehicle names. Oh, spaceship names. Oh, the Dragon Star. That's kind of cool. I kind of like Tomahawk, though. I don't know. Nightingale has always been kind of cool. I'm going to use Nightingale. Okay, whatever. We're going to use Nightingale. Let's also give the random generator where we talk about vehicle names, because they had that. Other names, vehicle names, car names. MPV Stardust. Kind of like that. Maybe. That's not cool enough. It's got to be nuclei concepts. Vehicle names. Military vehicle names. There we go. That's what we're looking for. Purgatory Artillery Command Vehicle. The Bulldozer Armored Security Vehicle. The Mastodon Artillery Tractor. The Hades Armored Car. The Chelonian Engineering Vehicle. Okay. The bottom one on there is a Bison launcher. I think that war would be far more interesting if you had a Bison launcher. I'm just saying. The Overlord self-propelled gun. Mongrel infantry fighting vehicle. I like the Smirk armored vehicle. You could just see, as long as it's got the two little eyes, the headlights, and then it's got kind of like the bumper is at an angle. They call it the Smirk, so it's just there. It's smirking. I like KO42 though as a name or as a number, an ID number, because it's so perfectly nominal. Yeah, people like to put. I do like Nightingale. Well, the K042 Nightingale multi-purpose vehicle. Maybe the Nightingale is a good name for it. I do want to come up with a heavy industries name for it though, because it sounds cool. Like there's got to be a heavy industries group out there. The bouncer, the deputy launcher. Hey, you want to be deputized? the feline anti-tank vehicle. I mean, some of these you could see. There's the Mutt artillery tractor. You knew it was going to happen. QZ2 Diablo. Not gonna lie, Diablo's pretty cool, but not for an MPV. I like the Sirocco. Okay, we got to come up with that's other names. Military division names, no. Rank names, no. Somewhere in here has got to be company name or business name, or I want to see what comes up with business names. Disease names. Ugh. Army names. Yeah, it didn't come up with what I wanted. Long enforcement names. No, this is always fun for me. I like this. I mean, the rose or the carnation. It's the rose. This is the thing. Let's be realistic here. You guys would hate writing in anything called a rose. Just saying. It's a tradition. Places and locations, maybe? Bank names. That's cool. That's close. Bookstore names. We're getting close. This is probably more like what we want. Like a brewery name. That'd be great. Company names. Company names. Venus Sports. Yellow Works. Oh, see, this is good. This is what we're looking for. Pumpkin Navigation. Okay, some of these are really weird, but that's right. That's why you just keep rolling through it. Oh, I like Raven. I may come back to Raven Heavy Industries. And Tarts. Webman. Knight Microsystems. Oh, you know what? I kind of like Knight as well. Shadow Motors. That's a good one. Heavy metal Mayhew. Nightstones. Spike trunks. Elecoms. Elecoms is a good one. Robin Intelligence, Imagination Intelligence. Sail Lighting. Squidwares. Triumph Motors, actual thing. Amazon Motors, probably all. Someday will be an actual thing. Spider Radio. Blossom Records. Not the best thing you want. Crystal Poly. I like Mayhew better because it's like nodding to Peter Mayhew. The Void Electronics. Labyrintelligence. Wow. Kind of like that one. Hound Security. I think the best one I've got is Night Heavy Industries. Except that it sounds too much like Knight Rider. Exit Wounds Express. That's good. I like that one. Desert Comms, Spikegate, Lagoon, Electronics. Sometimes the reason I go in here is because the real thing is always that the company is called Bob's Main Computer Systems or something like that. And you're like, it doesn't make any sense. And it's because people make a company and then they start making widgets. And then after a while, they're making bigger widgets. And before you know it, they're making whole cars. And you never know how in the world they ever got from, widget light industries into widget heavy industries. So one of the reasons I go through here is I'm looking for a name that will pull out that's not silly. Like Hammertronics is kind of silly, but makes some sense that, like Dreamgate, right? Dreamgate is a good word because Geek Tank Deployment Industries. Dreamgate's a good one because you're like, except that it still sounds a little too fluffy for what we're after. Spriteworth. See, Spriteworth is a good one because then it's like, it doesn't mean anything, right? Gorilla Stone. Oh, Gorilla Stone. Yeah, it still sounds silly. Spriteworth is in the running. Orc Acoustics. Jet Dew. Hookdale. Green Wheels. Pink Corpse. Robin Gate. Starlight Aviation. That one's really calling to me right there. It's calling to me enough that I'll put it over there temporarily and see if we come up with something better. Oh. I hate we never put leading letters on these things, so or leading numbers. So it's Starlight Aviation K-42 Nightingale multi-purpose vehicle. Death algorithms. Apocalyptic motives. I think we're good with Starlight Aviation K-42 Nightingale multi-purpose vehicle. Except that I think I want to call it Mechanation. Or Mobotics. Like mobile robotics. Skull Crusher Champions. Starlight Mobotics K-42 Nightingale. Mobotics sounds silly. Starlight Mechanical Industries. There we go. That's more like it. I feel like that's a... That's more accurate. Ground Zero Construction. There you go. The multi-purpose vehicle. I think that works. Connection. Not sure what that is, but okay. Maybe we're still coming up with names, or Nope. Move this guy over here a little bit so he's not quite in the way of this. Oh. Oh, okay. I get it. That's a French word, which is why I didn't get it, because the word is spelled like a coup, C-O-U-P. Because it's short for coup d'etat, which is C-O-U-P space D apostrophe E-T-A-T-E. E-T-A-T-E? Yeah. It's like hors d'oeuvres, which is spelled horse d'oeuvres. It's all right. Dude, I don't expect you to spell French words. Don't worry about it. I'm not worried about it at all. You're doing just fine. So don't worry about it. It's not a knock on you. Slag and tag facilities. I find this weird. Why did you do this? Like these two are. There we go. We're going to write Tarabeshi weird. Don't write Tarabeshi weird. right. I feel like that's a very good page. It said, did it do like, it's like other generators that it did where it was like concept ideas art. A hybrid octopus. Gotcha. So it just says it. That's cool. Good night. I'll see you in a bit. I'll see you later on, my friend. I think I'm out for night 2. I think that looks great. I'll go on ahead and save this page out. Export single layer JPEGs. I actually kind of want to post this guy out. Looks cool. Have you guys look at him online, so we'll do that real quick. Looks good to me. And then I'll call it for the night. See you all tomorrow. Good night, everyone.